What up, guys? Jason Guyman here with Christmas lights. Can you believe it is time for Christmas lights already? Well, I am going to run through here and I'm going to give you everything you need to know to start your Christmas light install business. I will give you lots of inside secrets coming out of this. So this will be a video that you will want to watch and see because I am going to try to help you and grow your business. If you're watching the replay of this, make sure that if you have any questions, you ask any questions down below so that way you will know whatever questions I can ask. Or if you're on the live, you will be able to see this also. I need this, was actually working on my business now. And so this is something that I am going to talk about. I'm going to talk a lot about a lot of information. Some of this information will work for you, whether you're starting a pressure washing business, a Christmas light business, or any type of business, because it is important. And I'm going to give you screen details of what you can do and how you can be success. So in the Christmas light business, there is a lot of successful people. There's a lot of money to be made in a short amount of time. You can make anywhere from, the most of the time I tell people when they take my class, you can make anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000 your very first year installing Christmas lights. I've got guys that have done my online course and have done over $100,000 their very first year. So it is very profitable business. It's a very cool business. It's a lot of fun business. And so that is what we will be talking about today. So the very first thing is we need to do some market research. Where is our customers probably going to come from? And so a lot of times we don't always know this, and we don't know how to find this information out. And so I am going to show you a couple of things that we can do that will help you get your business up and running. So the very first thing is all I did is I went up to Google and I Googled where, Cincinnati's highest prices, stuff like that. And it gave me this right here. And I know from Cincinnati, I know that Indian Hill is where all our money is. And so this is something that I know is there. So Indian Hill, Terrace Park, Montgomery, all of these are my people that when I owned my business, this was all of my honey holes, every one of these. Westchester isn't on here, but I know this is a good start to where my money is, right? This is something that I need to know so that way I can come over here to a couple other websites and I can go to every door direct mail. This is what that email website is. And I can see here where this is the Indian Hill side of things. And we can see in here when I start hitting these blue, wrong side, when I start hitting these blue things, you'll see that the average income of this of these 2,700 people is $244,000 a year. So they're pretty rich, right? This one here is 206,000. This one here is 181,000, 193,000. 174,000. We do get over here in a little bit poor area, so that's probably not where I need to hit of 77,000, right? 90,000, but you can see all of these people are in the high-end area. If I go to the next one here, because it said my number 2 was Montgomery, right? It said, or Terrace Park. I'm actually jumping down to Montgomery. So if I come down here to Montgomery, this right here is Montgomery again. 167,000, 92,000, 141,000, 148,000, 85, 121,000, right? And so the 45,000, that's probably not my people, right? 58,000. But these other ones are my people. So where are your customers going to come from? If they're only making $63,000 as the average income, you're probably not going to be your people. Those are not going to be where you want to be sending your mailers and stuff like that. And another thing, when we look at the mailers, I can't show it with two things, but you can see this has 158 businesses and only 228 residential. That's probably why it's not my whole, right? That's why you got to look at, this is 204 businesses. This here is 33 businesses. So this will tell you how many people you have to send to and all of those great things along that. There's one other tool that I use, if I can find it up here, is the Justice Map, and I'll show you kind of what I did here. If I scroll into Cincinnati, there's Kentucky, there's Lexington. I need to scroll up here. So if you look here in Cincinnati right here, there's Kenwood, which is a good one. Income is $91,000. If I click over here, this is $170,000. We click over here into Loveland because it said Loveland was $164,000. So this can give me an idea of where the money is over here. I don't know what this one is, but $157,000. But most of my money was up in this Kenwood, Milford, right? This is where my money holes are, and that is where I want to focus. So for instance, in Cincinnati here, this left, the right hand side here, right in this area, was all of your money. You got Anderson down here, you've got Loveland, you got Mason, you do have Westchester. Hamilton we get out of our zone again. This is not our zone. Fort Thomas there is some down in Cincinnati Hyde Park, but this is everywhere where our money is right here. So that's where I want to focus my money. So that is some market research that you have to do to start seeing where is your money at? Why am I going to focus my yard signs? Where am I going to focus all of that kind of stuff? Next thing is we need to come up with a business plan, right? Why, Jason, do we need a business plan? We need to develop a plan that outlines the service offerings, right? What are you going to offer? You might not know what pricing is, but you're going to learn what that is. We're going to do marketing strategy, kind of come up with a cost, an operating cost. How much is it going to cost me? I get that it can be hard to know these prices, but at least if we start writing some of this stuff down, it will help us get through what we need to do. The next thing is we need to come over here to the next thing, and we need to fill out our business stuff. We need to go to your Secretary of State. You can get on the Secretary of State's website. You can come down here, hit start a business, and you can basically just start going through starting the business. It usually takes anywhere from I don't know. It usually takes anywhere from about 15 to 30 minutes to fill all this information out. And that is what you need to do for your state. Every state is different. So this is what we have to do in Kentucky, but a lot of the states are the same. And so you just hit Kentucky, and then you kind of, what type of business you're going to be. Are you, if you don't know, this might be some things where you might want to ask an accountant which way is the best way to do it. So this is all you do is just fill out the prompts as you go through. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. The next thing is we need to get an EIN number from the IRS. So you can all I'm doing is just typing in Google and IRS EIN number. You just click on it there, and now whatever type of for it, you can get your EIN number. So that's how the EIN number is like your social security number for your business, is basically what the EIN number is. So that is some legal stuff that we need to do. We also need to get insurance, right? We need to get our insurance set up. We also need to get bank accounts. If you read Profit First, he talks about 5 different bank accounts. So that's another thing that you can do, is set up your bank accounts. Profit is one, owner's expenses, income, just the 5 different types of things. The next thing is to go through and find suppliers. I am a little bit for this here. If you want to, you can go to christmaslights.io and then click through, and then you will help me out. It will take you to another website of Christmas light contractors, but if you click through my website, it does help me out and I would appreciate it. It doesn't cost you any extra thing, and christmaslights.io is a way easier to remember than anything else anyway. So that's why you want to go through that way. Again, if you all have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. But this is definitely some things that I just kind of running through here to help you guys understand what it is. But if you go to christmaslights.io and you just go to buy Christmas lights, either up here at the top or you can come here, buy Christmas lights. Again, it's going to take you to Christmas light contractors. Now, one thing I'm going to hit on that before we get too far is wherever you decide to buy your lights, if you have a place that's local, that's great, awesome. You know, I like using local people because if you get in a pinch and you need something, they will help you out. But if you buy yourself, and you may have to pay a little bit more to be local. But what happens is if you buy offline because you don't want to pay a little bit more to be there, what it can happen is when you do need stuff and you go to the local place, they're going to be like, no, you don't buy from me regularly. So that is something that I do like buying from my Christmas light stuff is, you know, I did buy it all online because we didn't have nowhere to buy it elsewise. So it had to be shipping. But again, when you start talking about online, you got to start paying shipping costs, and all of those costs are going up. The Christmas lights might not be going up, but the shipping cost can eat you alive. So just remember of where to get your supplies at. Training and safety, this is probably the most important part of this. If you don't get trained properly or safety, I don't even care about trained properly. If you're not trained safely properly and you fall off the roof, it doesn't matter how much money there is to be made in the Christmas light business. It is very dangerous, right? It's a very dangerous job that we do to install Christmas lights, especially if you get into whatever type of weather you might be into. So be careful out there. Obviously, you know, if you want to do in-person training or online training, you can go from my online and that you can go to Christmas Light Train or you can go to KPW Train. I do have a class coming up, and so that is something that you can do and go check it out. You can go to christmaslights.io, in-person training, and it should take you to where you need to go at. In-person training, upcoming dates, and then we go here. This one here in Indianapolis, this one will actually have, it is pressure washing and Christmas lights, but this one, it just says Christmas lights, but it's actually going to be a lot more than Christmas lights. You're going to get landscape lighting and permanent lighting in it also. So just so you know, those are some things that you're going to get extra. And you might think, so that day will be a long day. That day both days are going to go long for the Indianapolis training because we're adding permanent lighting. So we're going to do permanent lighting. So that day is going to be our Christmas lights plus permanent lighting plus the hands-on. You actually get to do hands-on. And then on Saturday, it's going to be all marketing and how to grow a business. And I also have a guy coming in to teach sales for 2 hours on sales. And plus, I'm still planning on doing the love languages, and I'm planning on doing the DISC program. So that way we'll talk about it, all of that for sure. So these are some things to think about as we do that. When you hired your crews for pressure washing, was it a requirement they had to be comfortable with crazy high roofs? How did you convince your guys? Most of them are just dumb enough to go up and do it and doing it stuff. So that's how that was. I feel like it's just my day for free one-on-one training. So I'm giving some information here for sure that can help a lot of people and not just whatever. So, but yes, so that's some things that you got to remember for training. Training is definitely something that I would highly recommend. You don't have to. I got online training. I've had several people be successful with the online. I've had people do good with the in-person. So some things to think about. I still do have openings for Indy. The next thing is we have to think about pricing strategy. You know, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about pricing, and some people are going to be cheap, some people are not going to be cheap. And so I was actually listening to the Facebook group of you can't make money in Myrtle Beach because there's so many people. I got a good friend, Chris Johnson, making $2,000 average tickets. No matter where you go, there's always going to be competition. There's always going to be the cheap guy. Is this the easiest thing to sell? If you're selling lights, no, it is not the easiest thing to sell. This is something that we don't sell lights, right? I know this might be a question to come up. There are lights, but we don't lease them. This is a service. This is an all-inclusive service of you having an amazing winter wonderland with your Christmas lights, right? If you try to sell, we use C9 bulbs and we do all this, people give two rats about that. That sells nothing. That sells average tickets of $600, $700, $800. If you sell a magical experience, that's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, right? People will spend way more for magical experiences versus a light bulb. If you try to sell light bulbs, your average ticket will be anywhere from $600 to $1,000. And so that's some important thing to think about when we do this. Pricing wise, it's all over, so I know people out there that charge $4 a foot. I do not recommend it. I know people that charge $6, $7 a foot. Don't really recommend that either. I want you to charge $8 to $12 a foot. So every bulb is a foot. So that's $8 to $10 a foot, right? So every bulb, you're making money as we do this stuff. It is definitely something that we need to do. I'm going to jump right back up here real quick for the suppliers and relationships. Back to and it's going to be product, right? We need our clips, we need our bulbs, we need all of that kind of stuff. Whether you do 12-inch, 15-inch, most people do 15-inch. We need clips, we need minis, and that's pretty much all we need. We don't need a lot of product. Oh, reefs. I haven't talked. Reefs is another thing that is a good thing to do. So marketing, create a marketing plan. So in my mentorship for my guys, I've actually set out a plan for them, or set out a way they can plan for their marketing. What are you going to do in July? What are you going to do in August? What are you going to do in September? What are you going to do in October? How are you going to execute it? What are you going to do? What's your budget for it, right? What's your plan for Christmas light business? This is something that is very important. There's lots of ways. Website. You want to go check out kingdommarketing.io. There's website there. It all will actually be under christmaslights.io. Christmaslights.io will start housing. I don't have it up yet, but it's going to have the membership in behind it. And so you'll be able to get all of the training. I'm actually revamping all of the training right now. And the website will be all tied together. So if you want a website, it will all be tied together. And then there will be some add-ons that I'm going to be doing also. So marketing is definitely very important of how we do marketing. Now, I'm going to give you some gold here for you guys that are listening and have stayed in this long. I'm going to give you some more gold because I just want to help you all out. I want you all to be successful, right? I want you all to be the best of the best and be successful. And so with that, no, I'm not talking about that. Ways that we can get business is Google Ads, right? Google Ads. Google local service ads is another way. I haven't figured out if you can do it without being an electrician. I think you can, but I'm not 100%. So if you're on Google, or if you type in Google local service ads, so this here is your Google local service ads. And so there is a Christmas light one for your Google locals also. So that is another way. So Google ads is one way to get business. Another way is Facebook ads. Facebook ads have been working really well. And I'm going to show you a little hack here that if you didn't know, this is a little hack that you're going to learn. So if you type in Facebook ad library, it's going to bring you to this place here at Facebook lockdown, blah, blah, blah. And all you're going to do is you're going to put in all category or all ads, and we're going to type in Christmas lights. Christmas lights. Uh, why didn't it? Christmas. Come on, space, lights, business. Let me go back here and type it. Lights, my space button not working on Mac. Christmas lights. All right, Christmas lights, and hit search. And this is going to pull up all of the people that are starting to run Christmas light ads. And I'm not telling you to go and copy them, but I'm telling you that this is definitely something that when people start running Christmas ads, you're going to be able to see their ads. So that's a pretty cool thing that you can do. And there's more and more people starting to run Christmas light ads. And you're going to see more and more people do it also. And so this is a way that you can tell if people are running Christmas lights ads. This person up here is running an ad for 4th of July, right? 4th of July Christmas lights installers. Here's another one showing off your patriotic stuff. So these are ways that you can go find. You can see the ad detail and we can see what ad they are running. So that's a way that you can find out what ads they're running and what they look like. So that is another way. This has been a good way to get business for this. Another thing is that one of my favorite thing is yard signs. Moneybushes.com, right? Money bushes are awesome. I know they work between money bushes and yards, between money bushes and Facebook ads and Google ads. Put as much money into those as you can. I would start budgeting and marketing, I wouldn't do a whole lot in July and August, but as soon as September and October and November, November I would go wide open. I would let it spend whatever I could spend. September, October-ish, it starts to. In June or July, August, and September, you're probably going to get a lot of tire kickers of people checking for prices, but you'll be surprised at how many of those will turn into clients. So it is important that we do that to make sure that we get that. So this is some things that I have coming up, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Christmas lights. If you all have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. But these are definitely things to make you successful. My goal is to go live once a week at Wednesdays at 4. So if you want to know when I go live, that's when I'm going to go live on this Christmas light channel. I will be bringing people on is my goal. So if you have questions, if you have anything like that, I was going to do my live on another night, but that was going to take another night away from me. So I have I have a life too besides doing lives, so that's why I am doing it now. I feel like it's just my day for free training, one on one. Laugh out loud. Is there anybody else? If y'all got any questions, don't hesitate to ask because I will definitely see what we got going on here. We got TC in the house, just got off the rig, tired. Um, Also, I had some pretty cool news today. If nobody has any questions, I'll be jumping off here shortly. But if you have questions that you want to get answered or you want to see if there's anything that you can do better, let me know and we will get those things answered. Let me make sure I got everything that I wanted to. Oh, last but not least, customer service, right? Customer service is the number one thing as we do this here for Christmas lights. How fast are you answering the phone? How fast are you getting their quote back? I see a lot of guys, they get a quote and they won't get the quote out for 2 or 3 days. You've done lost that customer at that point. There's a good chance you're not going to close those customers. The faster we get those quotes out, the faster we will be able to make more money. Customer service is part of the customer service journey, right? And it doesn't just start when you first talk to them. It starts on the website. It starts on your social media posts. What are you posting? What are you putting on your website? How is it helping that customer? Are you answering your customers' questions before they ever get asked, right? These are things that you can answer your customers' questions on there. So customer service is definitely something that we have to make sure. Are we answering the phone? Is it going to voicemail? Are we not calling these people back? Are we not doing what we say we're going to do. Customer service is what sets you apart and what makes you extraordinary, right? Customer service. This is a customer service business that just so happens to hang Christmas lights. I love customer service and talking about customer service because I think a lot of people think that customer service is, well, I did this or did that. Well, did you text them letting them know when you're coming? Did you call them and make sure that they were happy? Did you make sure that you went above and beyond? Did you send them a Christmas card for July, tell them to sign up? Have you asked for that, right? Are we asking for our reviews? Are we asking for referrals? All of this comes down to customer service. And you might say, how is asking for a referral customer service? Because if we can help their friends out, that makes them even better. That's even better for us and them, right? We make them both better. So it is definitely something that we got to make sure. How do the Halo Tough Clips work on the clay roofs? Or how about metal roofs? Do you use the magnetic clips? First year installer here. Love your content. So the metal roofs, if it is a metal roof, is definitely magnetic clips if you can. The clay roofs is any of your best clips or any of those will work as long as they're pliable, for sure. So it is definitely for that. But back to customer service, right? I see so many people that don't answer their phone. Don't they get a quote online? They don't get to it. They don't see it. They don't whatever. These are things that set you apart and what makes you different and will make all your friends want to keep you growing. 30-foot leafless tree redoing minis. Are you doing it individually tree wrap, or are you doing it as a bough and branch wrap? Are you doing the bough with a wrap around, or are you doing it? Because that's two different things. Because if you're doing it with the bough and then just wrapping the branch, you're looking at 30 feet times $40 a foot. You're looking at $1,200. Take you about an hour to wrap it. If you're talking about a branch wrap, you're talking about a lot more than that. Branch wrap, yeah, you're talking a whole lot more than that because it's going to take you a whole lot of time. And what sucks about that is too, when you do a branch wrap at 30 feet, is you obviously probably got to get a lift, and then you got to get a lift twice. So you got to remember that it's not just putting them on, but you also got to take them back off. So that's why we got to charge so much if we're doing a branch wrap. They look amazing, but we have to charge more for that. Any other questions? I know I love doing Christmas lights. It is a lot of fun. Those customers are great customers of any other service you do. And if you're not using it for that, you should be, because it is definitely something that you need to do. What's a good way to determine how tall the tree is? How tall the house is? So obviously this house here, you figure to the first story is 10 feet. And then you figure to the second story window, or to the peak of this house, is probably another 10 feet. So if that tree in the front is 20 feet. So those little trees down here, I don't know if there's a tree here or not. No. So for instance, if these little trees, we know that's 10 foot. So this little tree is probably about 3 or 4 foot. This flag over here, if this was a tree, we're looking at, 10 feet tall, 10, 11 feet tall. There is a tree here to the left. So usually you're going off of what's known. What is your known things? What if it's next to the hospital? Well, then them are usually 12-foot floors. 12 foot is usually in between, and you go from there. Each floor is how you do it. Or you go out with a digital thing, a digital measuring tape, and you shoot it up there to see how far away it is. That's how you do it if it's a hospital. So those are ways to do it. But all right, guys. Well, if you haven't checked out christmaslights.io, I'm getting ready to do a whole bunch to it. My goal is to have everything up and running by before class next week. I don't know if I will. I've been working on it a bunch here lately. That's my plan, to have all the training on the backside and everything there. The website's the whole 9 yards. That will be coming with the training, so that will become with the membership. If you quit the membership, you lose your website. So that's how it will work. But other than that, I hope you all have a great day. Every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern time is when I'm going to go live, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. I may do a number where you can call and start texting it out, but I got to get other things done first before I start working on that. But other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you all later.